Suzanne here at Hullahbaloo. How are you all doing this evening? Just check we're in the right room. Anybody with us? How is everybody this evening? Have you had a good week? You got much crafting in? So this is a sneaky peek at what I'm going to make this evening. Once I've confirmed I'm live in the right place. I've got somebody watching, so I'm live somewhere. Let's see if I can get this camera stand to stay up. Apologise for all the bouncing that you're seeing there. Right, are we all steady? Are we good to go? Straighten your back up. I apologise if I made any of you seasick just then. We've got 3 of you. But my computer's not telling me I'm live. Bad computer. Bad computer. Okay. So I apologise, I won't be able to see your comments until my computer's decided I am live. But this is what we are going to be making this evening. So, a little bit of backstory. I generally stick to the more rectangles, square type boxes, mainly because that's what I've seen people in the past making, and I first got into doing Stampin' Up and crafting by, casing other people, following their tutorials first before branching out into doing my own stuff. And so this is one of the first ones I've made myself. So this is as you can see, it's a circular box with a flush fitting lid. So you'll be able to see there that the lid has got a lip on the inside, and the lid then sits flush on the top like so. As you can see on this one, the paper didn't quite meet, so I've amended my measurements for tonight's so that it does meet, and we will be making it meet without that unsightly gap. But this one is using the poinsettia flocked paper that's up and coming in the new catalogue, so you're getting a bit of a sneak peek of it this evening. And I've put it round as well. And the stamp set that I used for this one was, let's see if I can remember which one it was. I think it's called Best of the Year or something. Can I find it on my shelf? No, I can't. Oh, it's called Here's a Card. Oh, we're nowhere near. Nowhere near. Okay, so I'm going to check that we're all good on here. See if I can find comments on here. Can I see them on here? If anyone wants to say hi, just so I can check the comments are working. If you already have, then I think we can safely assume they're not working. Ooh, isn't technology a bugger? Imagine working in this job 5 days a week. Who would be so crazy to do that? Right, anyway, enough of me trying to get the technology working. I'm going to show you how to make your own. So, of course, this is a Christmas theme. And our catalogue isn't just about the Christmas side of things. There's obviously the autumnal side, there's Halloween stamps, there's stamps for the other occasions, and there's some in there that are quite neutral as well. So where I did this one in real red and Christmas, we're going for a black Halloween theme this evening. So as you can see, you need quite a few little bits to do this. So you need 4 circles. These are 2 3/4, and these were made with the layering circles, so I've just used my die to cut those out. So you need 4 of those. They will hide all these unsightly seams that we will have in putting together both the lid and the base. You'll need one that is, I think this one's ever so slightly smaller. What's this one? This is about 2.5, and that will form the lid on one of the boxes and give it a bit of decoration. So this DSP is the Magic in This Night. So it's got a lovely purple spider pattern on the other side, but I've gone with this more checkerboard style. And then you need 3 pieces of black cardstock, so basic black. You need one that is 8 5/8 by 2.5, one that's 8 5/8 by 2, and one that is 8 11/16 by 1 1/4. And this is because this is the lid, and we want to be able to make sure that that fits nice and smoothly. As you can see on this one, the lid just slots on and off. Inside this one, just to show you how big it is, I've got one of these beautiful smelling candles. So what's this? This is an Airwick little jar candle. Take the lid off there. I think they're about £1 each, these, or the way when I bought them. And it fits in there quite snug, and because of the base that we've built on this, it can stand the weight of it. So we'll get cracking. We're going to do the scoring first. So we score the 1 1/4 piece, and we score the 2.5 piece. So we can pop the 2-inch piece to one side for the moment. Grab my scoreboard. So it's a very easy score on this. Everything is 1/2 inch. So on the 1 1/4 piece, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch on the short side, and then we're going to turn it lengthways. And you need, where that score line is, you need the smaller part towards the top of the scoreboard, and then you score it at every 1/2 inch until you run out of card. And I'll show you why in a moment. But all the way across, I don't even think I've got you in shot there. So 1/2 inch all the way across until you get here, and then you'll notice there's ever such a tiny piece at the end, but that I'll show you what we do with that in a moment. So pop that one out of the way, and then same on this one at 1/2 inch on the short side, and then bring that small piece to the top of the scoreboard, and again it's at every 1/2 inch. So it may seem like a lot of random scoring, but it will all make sense in a moment. And again on this one, you'll have a tiny little piece on the end that's not quite the right size, but that's how we want it. So we'll pop that out of the way. And my laptop's still deciding it's not wanting to connect in my craft room. God, I love technology, don't we? Right, so these are the 2 pieces that we work with first. We want to fold and burnish just that long strip, nothing else. So just that one long bit there. And again, the same on this piece. Just down that one line. So then you'll have these. So, as you know, if we were to bend that card round into a circle now and try and stick this bit down, it'd cause bumps, lumps, it would look unsightly, it'd try to straighten itself out. It wouldn't give us that nice curve that we want for a cylindrical box. So what I'm going to do is where these score lines are now, I'm just going to stand up to make sure I'm showing this properly. So you'll see these score lines here. We want to angle in on that line there, and then the same from the opposite side. So you're getting a tiny little triangle cut out, and then we're going to miter this one here. And you want to cut those triangles out all the way along the piece. And in end it'll look like a set of blunted crocodile teeth, but it'll form some nice little glue tabs for us when we come to curve this around our bases. So keep going all the way along. And I find the snips are the best for this because they get because they're so sharp, they give you that sharper cutting. Sorry, I keep going out of shot there, don't I? It's very different crafting stood up to show you this. So the paper that I'm using, as I said, it's Magic in This Night, but that comes from the Magic in This Night suite. So you'll see me very shortly using some other bits from that suite. I'm very much a Halloween girl. I like the more gothic style that's in, especially in this year's paper. It's not just Halloween, it's flowers, there is spiders, so there is still the spooky element, but then there's Halloween patterns too. There's more like a doily pattern, there's the checkerboard that I'm using this evening, and there's one with bats. Right, so as we get to this end piece here, and we've cut our triangle, we just need to try and cut as much of a triangle on the opposite side, which I know there isn't much of it, but there we go. And then I just take a tiny part of that point off, so it's like that, and that's just so we can still use something to stick, and this will be the lid, so when that goes round it's still got something to meet on the other side. And then we want to repeat the same process on the 2.5 inch piece all the way along, and I should have probably done this before I went live because it doesn't make for brilliant viewing, but stood up like this means I can see your comments. So we got Karen. Hi Karen, how are you? And Debbie and Alison, I hope you're all okay. So all the way along, same as we did on the other one. Let all the little black triangles fall down. Your desk becomes scattered in them. So down we go. I promise you the fun part will start shortly. There we go. And then these final few, and then you'll do the same on the end again for this piece as well, because you want somewhere for the glue to sit still all the way so that it doesn't gape and create an unsightly seam. So we're at the end, so we'll cut it in the same way and then just take a bit of that triangle off, and that's just because it's so thin it bends and creates a bit of a nasty look. So there we go, there's that end bit there. Okay, so now we can bring the box together. So I'm going to sit back down now, move all those out of my way. So to bring it together you need one of your circles, and I'm going to go for the base first, and then I use Stampin' Seal Plus, and all I do is round the edge of the circle I just get it ready for the card to meet it. Well, she does when, there we go, big goop in the way. So around the edge of the circle I just put little bits of Stampin' Seal Plus, because 1, it's the strongest of the tape glues, 2, it isn't as messy as Tombow, and 3, it sticks straight away. Trying to bend the card, getting it to stick, and keeping all your circle together and straight is no mean feat, and I don't have enough hands to do all of that. So I use this for ease. So I always start at the end that's got the full triangle, and all we do, and I find it easiest by laying it down, but I'm going to show it this way so that you guys can see. Place your first one and stick it, and then what I do is I just turn the circle along what you can see, that back score line here. I run the circle along it and I get so far, and then I stick them down. Because it's already curved, you know they're in the right places, and you're not creating any sort of the jagged edges. So then you keep going round like so, sticking them down like this. So this is how it'll look as you're bringing it together, and this is what I mean about those unsightly seams. So we'll keep going round like so. Make sure I'm still away, you guys can see it, and then I just keep turning the box, sticking the tabs, and then as you can see we've got this little bit here. Now this time my measurements are absolutely spot on, so that little triangle isn't really needed, so I can come in and I can actually take that out. On a previous box it was, because my measurements were absolutely naff. And then as you see, you've got a small overlap where you can now bring the box together. This time I will be using Tombow, and that's just because your Stampin' Seal is too thick a tape, but I also want to be able to move it in case I don't stick it straight. Now the trick here is making sure you don't put too much on, as in it'll goop out, and because I'm using black it'll be unsightly. But also putting enough that when you bring it together like so, so you need to make sure it's straight like that, and then I'm just going to hold it there for a moment. So what I do then is I also sit it down just to make sure it's looking straight as I'm gluing it, because then if it's not, I can quickly wiggle it. So I'm just going to hold that for a second. I'll have a quick look at any comments while we're waiting for this. And thank you to the 4 of you that have stuck with me through the technical issues we had at the beginning there. So as you'll see as well, even though seal is the strongest, the tabs overlapping like to come off. So this is where one or more of the black circles comes in. Tombow this as close to the edges as we can without letting that glue goop out. And then this will cover those perfectly, like so. And then to make sure that's on, I just get the base of my Tombow and just give that a press. And there we have it, there's the base. And this, as I say, is a flush box, so this is forming the lip inside. This is where the lid will sit on top. This is not the outside. So the next part is the outside itself. Is that bit sticking? There we go. So what we do with this is this literally wraps around the outside of the box like so, and it comes together. And what it does is, as it goes round, if I show you, it says, I'm just going to take a bit more off that, give it a bit more of a lip. So let's see. So we want this at 1 3/4. Take that extra little bit off. Is that better? Yeah, it's better. Yeah. And then I'll have to do the same to my DSP as soon as I've cut that at 1 3/4. We'll cut this at 1 1/2. There we go. So you can do this piece either way. On one of the boxes, on this one, I put the DSP on the card first and then wrapped it round. So the DSP, you will see here, is just ever so slightly longer. And that's because when we wrap it round the box, it's not going to meet. Because it's when it goes like that. So as you can see there, it's giving it just that little bit extra. Sorry, get back in shot. It's giving it that little bit extra so that it will meet when we put it round the box. So I'm going to put my paper on first. I'm going to use my seal this time rather than over egg it with a bit of Seal Plus. And then I'm going to put this straight onto the card. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got some glue on the ends so that when we come to bring it together on the actual box itself, it sticks nicely. So you need this flush at one end. And I'm flushing mine here on that side. And then just making sure, and like that it's straight as we go along. There we go. So then, to make sure it wants to bend around that box, I just give it a bit of a tease with the bone folder so that it gets a bit of a natural curl to it first. So then when that comes round, there we go, like we've got where it'll meet, and it will ever so slightly overlap. So there we go, it's naturally curly. Reminds me of the top hats. Yeah, but those top hats were beautiful on that snowman. So it was worth it. And then I'm going to go and in with some Seal Plus. You can do it with Tombow if you're not brave enough to go straight in with the tape glue. And you can guess, because I'm live, it's just run out. So quickly flip another one in here. And there we go, it was as easy as that to swap it. I've just got another one out of my drawer, and then this clicks back in place. So off we go again. There we go. And I'm going to make sure I've put plenty on this because you don't want this pinging off the box. I'm getting myself stuck to it in the process. Hi Angelina, how are you? So then what we want to do here is I like to keep all my joins in the same place on this, and that's purely just because then you've only got one place with all the seams. So we'll line that up there, and then it is literally just going all around, making sure it's level as you go around to the bottom of the box, and making sure that it's sticking nice and secure. And then as you see, we get to this end here and it's meeting nicely. So then push that down like so, and there we go. So that's the bottom of the box. So now we need to repeat the same on the lid. So I'm just going to quickly do this so that I don't keep you all waiting around. So the same method as the bottom. Seal around the edges, Seal Plus, sorry, around the edges. Starting with the side that's got the full triangle, not the half triangle. And then, again like last time, starting on the end and then roll it along that score line so that you get a lovely curve. Making sure you haven't got any little bits of triangles still amongst your cuts that you made. go. And then again, like the other one, my measurements are absolutely spot on, so I can take that little triangle off there, and then we'll put a tiny piece of Tombow on here when Tombow wants to work for me. There we go, just like that, and then that goes underneath to hide that little notch we just made. And then what I do is I put it on the box like so, so then we can seal it while it's on the box, so you know it's going to fit, like so. I'm just going to hold this a second so it doesn't ping open on me. And then you see, again, we've got those unsightly seams on the top, which we want to hide. But there, as you'll see, it'll sit on lovely. So as like we did on the other one, I'm going to put another circle to hide those seams. And then we can get actually decorating the box. There we go. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all stuck by just rubbing Tombow in the lid there. Make sure that's stuck down too. And then I just check over my joins and make sure they're all nice and neat as well. I'll show you a little lessons learned. This is one of the prototypes I made. So you can see here just how wrong it can look. The outer piece didn't meet, the lid's not stuck because that didn't meet. What else have we got? We got this one where, again, the paper didn't quite meet. And then this one was inspired by a lady on here now, Angelina. So she did a product medley of a birthday extravaganza it was, showcasing the peony suite. So this is the peony paper, and the bow from that, the ribbon from that suite, sorry. It's not the stamp set though. The stamp set is, this is the So Sentimental stamp set. But I think it looks gorgeous, and as you can see on the bottom, can't see any of those unsightly seams again. Right, so the lid is stuck, and there we go, we've got our box all ready. So I'm just going to pop that to one side while we decorate. So this is a piece of the same DSP, so this is Magic in the Night, and this is the checkerboard again. Again, we're just going to put glue on this and stick this to the lid, and this will bring it all together. I have missed one piece of DSP here, so I'll just cut that in a moment. Won't take a second there. And then there on the lid there. So on one of them I did decorate the lid, but then the front looked a bit boring, so I've left the lid plain on this one. And I did the same on the Christmas one. I've left the lid plain and I've just put a sentiment on the side of it with a bow, and I think that's enough really. So the piece of DSP I've missed is just the one that goes around the lid. So I'll just get my trimmer up. And so the lid piece will be 8 5/8 like the rest, but the lid is 3/4. Yeah, 3/4. So as piece will be 1/2 inch. When you can find the paper, there we go. So as you can see, I've used lots of it, 1/2 inch, and then we'll do the same as what we did on the bottom piece of DSP and give it that just extra 1/16, and so that'll be 8 and 11/16. There we go. Just move that out of the way. So this one, I'm just going to pop some seal on the back and pop that around the lid. Trying ever so hard to keep straight and not get my tape everywhere. So then on the lid, try and get the join in the same place, and then round it goes. And there we go. It just gives it an extra, I don't know, it just makes it feel a little more coordinated, if that makes sense. And there we go. So, decoration. I am in absolute love with these bats. So, one sheet of the paper looks like this. And the dies, which are here, these are the dies in the suite, but they're also called Halloween Magic to get them separately. And there's this die here in particular. I don't think I've really used any of the others much. I've used this label one in the middle, but that's about it. It's all been about these bats. These bats are exactly why I bought the suite. Well, not the suite, but the dies. So yeah, gorgeous. So I've used them on the DSP to create one bat, and then when I haven't lost them, where have I put them? There they are. I've also used some black glimmer. So I think my lovely little spotlight should be showing you just how shiny that is. Look. So we've got a glimmer bat as well. And I haven't quite decided where I'm putting them, so I'm thinking if I put one that way and one there, maybe, or maybe just the one, just a glimmer one, just a DSP one, I don't know, but they're going to decorate this. So I've punched out this from the, I can't remember what the punch is called now, but it's this one. So we've punched that out, and I've gone for the Trick or Treat sentiment, which is from the Hallows Night Magic. So there's those bats again. So the die will fit around those bats as well, if you wanted to stamp them as well. And I've gone for this sentiment here, so it's Trick or Treat. And I'm going to do it in Memento. Let's get that nice and inked up. Get this straight. Got brand new grid paper because my other half decided he was stealing mine. And then I'm going to stand up and make sure I'm not in shot. Yes, Angelina, lifesaver, it's the timeless label. But is she getting it straight? That's the big question. Yeah, look at that. It'll do. Offset the glimmer behind by hand the pattern, like that maybe, like that, and then put the bit. How do we do that? I don't know. We'll have a mess around in a moment. So a little tip here. When I was popping these sentiments on these boxes, and so as you'll notice, one's bigger than the other because I've been messing with my sizes. But this one, I didn't curve the sentiment before I put it on the box, and if I go like that, it just pings because it's fighting against the curve, whereas this one I curved and it's sticking lovely. So I'm just going to make sure this is dry. I'm going to give this a bit of a natural curve, and then it'll want to go around my box. There we go. So now, what do we do with him? I don't know. Is the punch the right punch to use for this? Who knows? Do we do it like that? Alright, so on the back of this, some dimensionals. They do hold it as long as you've done the curve and you've given your card a bit of a bend. They will hold it. So I've got two. In fact, I'm going to pop a third one on just to be sure. Last thing I want is that popping off. I've not put anything else on it just yet, but I do have my iridescent pearls ready. So we're going to pop that there in the middle. So what I do have actually is a smaller bat. I wonder if the smaller bat at one side, maybe bigger bat behind. Don't know, or maybe just the small bat. The small bat offset. Yeah, maybe another small bat. Who knows? I'm going to do the ribbon first and then I'll decide on what I'm doing. So, where have I put my ribbon? Ribbon is here. So this is the glittered organdy ribbon. So this was in last year's catalogue and has carried over. But it's got a lovely glimmer to it, which I thought with using the glimmer paper itself that it'd bring the two together. So I'm just going to pop this literally around the top, and I'm going to use glue dots to do it, and that's simply because I want to keep it secure. I'm only going to pop 3 on it, but it keeps it on the lid, because this one I didn't glue dot apart from at the front, and it moves a bit much more than I'd like it to move. So where are my glue dots? They're here. So I'm going to pop one where my join is, one at either side of the join actually, I think. So one at either side of the join, and then one in the middle on the opposite side to the join, and hopefully that'll be enough to just keep it in place. So let's see. So try and keep it straight along the DSP. Right, where was that other glue dot? There. And then trim that off. There we go. And that's that. And then I'm just going to do a bow in the same ribbon, like so. Is that too big? Yeah. Is there such a thing as a bow that's too big? There we go. Now, I was going to use the ribbon that's in the new catalogue that's coming out, but I'll show you why I didn't. So this is the ribbon, and as you can see, even though I've tried to like bunch it up and that, it just expands too much and it's too big for the box. And once you put it together, I don't think it looks as nice when you bunch it up like that. So I've gone for the other one. So what we're going to do is glue dot this and pop that on the lid. Where's that glue dot at the front? Should be around here. Yep, there. Pop that there, and then onto the box, like so. So let's see if we can smarten up this. I should have just left it like that, shouldn't I? Both the side. Or do we take this off and cut it down a little bit? So let's see. So scrap everything I said about this punch, even though the lovely Angelina did tell me the correct name for it. And then put the glimmer there and the other back there, maybe, and across the front at the bottom, like so. Too much, too little? Offset them a bit better. Let's see. Have I got enough hands to do this? Aha! We might have a winner now. Put that in the middle. And then offset the back. Like so. We have a winner. So I'm just going to pop a glue dot on the back. Just there to offset the other back. I'm going to throw it around my desk a little bit. Is that the right way? Like that. And then pop that there, like so. And then see if we can give these wings a bit of a curl to them too. Like that. What do we think? I don't think it needs any pearls on it now. What do we reckon? Are we good with that? I don't think it needs anything more. I don't think it needs the pearls, although I will show them on camera because it doesn't matter what I do. You can't get a decent picture of these, but look at, I don't know if you can see that on the camera either. They've got like they look rainbowy. Like someone described them as looking like a bit like an oil slick. How it looks black until you get close to it and then you can see the rainbow in them. And I absolutely love them. But I think that's it. I think that's the box. So I'll show you the other ones. So there's the Halloween one. They're all going to roll away from me now. Halloween, Christmas, and then there is the peony one as well. Bring them down. There we go. So, because I hadn't seen many circular boxes being made, and they were all rectangles or squares and so on, I thought I'd give it a go, and Debbie, who's on here, watched me on FaceTime while I was just randomly putting it together, and it worked. So here we go. This is a cylindrical box. This one is a little bit smaller than this one, which is a little bit smaller than this one. They're like the Russian dolls of the circular boxes, but you can fit plenty in them. So if I quickly show you the inside, there, look, so plenty of space to get all sorts in there. Could give them out actually as little Halloween boxes at your door if you want to sit and make that many of them. I will put the instructions on this on my blog tomorrow, including the little impromptu change I just made live on camera. My grid paper is now covered with glitter from tying those ribbons, but how gorgeous does that look? So thank you so much for joining me tonight, and thank you for remaining patient while I had a few technological issues at the beginning, and even though I couldn't make my mind up towards the end, sticking through to the end. This, as I say, will go on my blog tomorrow. All the measurements will be there. I'll put links to all the supplies so that if you want to purchase them yourselves, you can do. This product suite will go live on the 4th of August. However, if you can't wait until then to get one, to get your hands on any of the new product, this is all new product here as well, then ask me about how you can become a demonstrator like myself, and I'll happily talk you through it. If you would like a catalogue for the new product that's coming up, please let me know, and I will be happy to send you a complimentary copy out in the post. Or if you've got any other questions or queries, please drop me an email at hullahbaloo@outlook.com, and I will be happy to get back to you and answer your questions you may have. I'm back next Friday at 7:30 again, same time, same place, except next week we'll be making one of these So again, this is product in the upcoming catalogue. However, you may recognise it as being some carryover from last year as well. So this is a slider box. So I made these to house trophies at work. Little tiny trophies, you know, the ones you get at school when you're a kid. And it opens at the top here. So next week I'll be making an alternate version of this using some product from the new catalogue. And I'll see you all then. Thanks for joining and thanks for remaining patient. I'll see you next week.